The story begins in a dark future where, 14 years ago, a deadly fungal outbreak wiped out 94% of the world's animals. And since animals were the real backbone of the food chain, the entire food chain system collapsed without them. Humans began to starve and bloody wars broke out all over the world. In this world, every person was fighting just to stay alive. Now, the greatest wealth here isn't gold or silver, but land where crops can grow, because only fertile farmland can keep humanity alive. Meanwhile, we see a group of men heading towards a different farm, and they arrive near a house. One of the men says to the people inside, "Your crops are really impressive, we're just passing through." He says they just need a little rest, but meanwhile, his companions quietly start sneaking in from different directions. Just then, one of the 10 is immediately shot. Then, from a distance, a sharp whistle echoes through the air, and in the very next moment, all the intruders start dropping to the ground one after another. Inside, a little girl named Cookie, while defending her home, shoots a man dead. A hail of bullets begins, and most of the intruders are wiped out. This is the entry of a powerful and fearless woman. Hale moves swiftly through the fields and takes down the enemies with great precision. From behind the window, her daughter Rain provides cover fire, and at the same time, Hale's son Emmanuel catches a woman trying to escape and mercilessly finishes her off. After the fight, the family checks the bodies and gathers together. Now the entire family is shown to us. Hale's husband Galen and another daughter Denise. Everyone suspects how the intruders managed to cross their defenses so easily. That's why they decide that the security around the farm needs to be tightened even more. At night, the Freeman family sits together at the dinner table. The children practice whistling code and everyone discusses the crops and security. After dinner, Hale gives Emmanuel a mission to deliver supplies to her friend Augusta, and she warns Emmanuel not to talk to any strangers and not to trust anyone outside the family. Over the next few days, we are shown the routine of the Freeman family. Everyone does fight training, practices shooting, takes care of the fields, and checks the electric fences and CCTV cameras. Sometimes they go into the forest to look for edible things, and Hale constantly tries to listen for news of other survivors on the radio. One evening, Hale is talking to her friend Augusta. Augusta warns her that this dangerous group of thieves has already attacked 3 farming families. She requests Hale to go to those families for a few days and train them so they can protect themselves. But Hale flatly refuses. For her, putting her own family at risk to help others just wasn't possible. The next morning, Emmanuel sets out with a car. After a while, he arrives at an old, dilapidated building. There, he finds a box lying around. On it, the name Augusta is written. Emmanuel fills it with supplies and heads back. Just then, Hale receives a call from Augusta at home, and that call sent chills down Hale's spine. Augusta tells her that a farming family, the Flemings, have all died. Even the children. And not only were they killed, their bodies were eaten as well. All of this was done by a large organized group of cannibals. Hearing this, Hale is shaken. Meanwhile, on his way back, Emmanuel stops to swim in the river. As he is about to leave, he sees a girl swimming in the river too. The moment Emmanuel sees her, he feels instantly attracted. Curious, he looks at her through his rifle scope. The girl heads into the jungle towards a hidden settlement. Even after returning home, Emmanuel can't get her out of his mind. He loses himself in thoughts of that girl. The next day he goes there again, but the girl is nowhere to be found. Frustrated, Emmanuel starts sketching her, as if he wants to keep her memory alive. A few days later, Emmanuel, Galen, and Dennis go to a warehouse to look for supplies. As soon as they enter, Dennis is shocked. Corpses are hanging from the ceiling. After a while, a group of soldiers appears in front of them. The tension rises. Everyone points their guns at each other. Then the soldiers calmly say that they are from the army and are here to help the farmers. Galen asks, "Are you guys with Fleming?" They say yes. Hearing this, Galen immediately opens fire and kills them all right there. The soldiers are killed. Galen explains to the children that these were fake army men. Fleming had died a long time ago. Before leaving, Emmanuel suggests that they should check the dead bodies. Maybe they'll find something useful. Galen also says, "All right, hurry up." Denise is searching one of the bags. Just then, an old woman who was pretending to be dead suddenly gets up and shoots at Denise. The bullet hits Denise in the stomach, and at that moment, Emmanuel kills the old woman. The scene cuts. Galen rushes back to the farm with Denise. Haley performs an emergency procedure and saves her life. Denise survives, but Emmanuel feels guilty because he was the one who told them to check the bodies. But Rain comforts him and says, "Denise is alive because of you." Later, Haley calls Augusta. but there is no response. That night, Emmanuel hears strange noises coming from the forest. He immediately goes out to investigate. In the darkness, he sees a girl. He shouts, "Stop, don't move!" When the girl turns around, Emmanuel is shocked. She was the same girl he had seen in the river. The girl, frightened, is asking for help. The next morning, Galen and Haley give their children a strict warning. Always stay alert, even when you're sleeping, you should have a gun with you. They warn that some people disguise themselves as soldiers, but in reality, they are dangerous cannibals who are not just after land or possessions. Human flesh is also considered a commodity. Haley's order was clear: shoot first, ask questions later. And on the other side, Emmanuel. He is still hiding that girl in the cellar. He bandaged her wounds and gave her water. And he tries to win the girl's trust. The girl angrily says to him, "You kidnapped me," she says, and Emmanuel replies, "I'm only doing this because of my mother." She doesn't trust any outsider. At night, Emmanuel comes to the bar again. He asks the girl, "Who are you? Why did you come here? All this? After the incident, I want to know the truth." The girl asks for the radio, but Emmanuel refuses. After a while, the girl starts crying and says, "I just want to find out whether my people are alive or not." Emmanuel softens and finally gives it to her. Then the girl reveals something big. "I just need the radio so I can contact the Freeman farm." Hearing this, Emmanuel is shocked. When he asks the reason, the girl says, "My aunt told me that only the Free family can help." After this, the tension between them melts away and turns into a conversation. Emmanuel shares his interest in swimming. The girl, with a slight shyness, says, "I noticed you watching me at the river." Emmanuel gets embarrassed. The next morning, when the family gathers, Haley finds out Emmanuel is missing. The scene cuts. Inside the barn, the girl takes Emmanuel's music player and plays it. The song, "Baby Calm Down," starts playing. The girl is dancing to the song. Emmanuel feels happy seeing her like this, but his happiness quickly turns into horror. When her parents arrive, without wasting any time, Haley grabs the girl. Manny is locked inside the barn. Desperate, he tries to break down the door. Outside, Haley points a gun and asks the girl, "Tell the truth, who are you?" The girl, frightened, starts to speak. "My name is Dawn. I'm a nurse who provides medical help to farms through a government program. But we were attacked." Haley doesn't believe her. She fires a warning shot. Frightened, Dawn tells the truth. "Mary and Augusta sent me." Hearing this, Haley is shocked. Meanwhile, Emmanuel leaves the barn and goes to the control room. He desperately tries to contact Augusta on the radio, but gets no response. Just then, Haley arrives there angrily. Emmanuel insists, "Mother Augusta could be in trouble. We have to help her." But Haley says in a cold tone, "Augusta is a Marine. She can take care of herself. Our job is to protect the farm." And then she scolds Emmanuel, saying, "You've fallen for that girl's tricks. That girl Dawn is lying to us," and then the fight between mother and son heats up. Emmanuel is exhausted. Angry at his mother's suspicious policies, he leaves the house. Emmanuel decides that he will go with Dawn alone to find Augusta. The two of them set off in a car, but it doesn't take long. Haley finds out that the two of them are missing. She takes out the car. Galen says that this must be a trap. Haley says, "I know," but Emmanuel forced her. Meanwhile, Emmanuel and Dawn arrive at the camp, but there's only silence there. Empty tents, bloodstains, and an eerie silence. There's no sign of Augusta anywhere. Back at the farm, Galen notices that one of the CCTV cameras isn't working. He goes to check that area and spots a deer in the distance. But wait, weren't the deer and other animals already extinct? That's when it's revealed that this is actually a cannibal wearing a deer mask. He knocks Galen unconscious. The masked cannibals pounce on his body, while the people with him sneak back toward the farm. Meanwhile, Dawn takes Emmanuel to an old trailer. Here she reveals a shocking truth. "Emmanuel, I lied to you. I was the one who sent the cannibals. They have kidnapped my uncle and other people, and I was forced to bring you here." Hearing this, Emmanuel is completely shocked. Just then, a shadow starts approaching from behind. Meanwhile, Haley arrives at Augusta's house. She finds only empty rooms, destruction, and bloodstains. She is looking for her friend. Just then, a man hits her on the head from behind and drags her into the basement. When Haley regains consciousness, she sees she is also tied up, and so is Augusta. Injured, she is lying there. At the farm, Rain and Little Cookie see that all the CCTV signals are turning off. Rain immediately understands. The cannibals have arrived. She tells her little sister to stay quiet and takes position at the window with a rifle herself. The cannibals are sneaking towards the house. Rain pulls the trigger. One by one, the enemies fall, but the other cannibals return fire and break the window. Meanwhile, Galen is being pinned to the ground. The cannibals are biting his body, but Galen breaks his own hand and kills both cannibals with a single nail. On the bus, Haley is talking to Augusta. Haley mentions the girl Dawn, who came to the farm and claimed to be Augusta's niece. Augusta, in shock, says the cannibals forced her and she thought Haley would shoot her on sight. Haley promises to get her out, but Augusta adds another twist. She has hidden some children who need to be rescued. And just then, the leader of the cannibals enters the basement. Haley gets angry when she sees that these people are eating humans. She yells, "You people are animals." But the leader calmly says, "You also kill people, and even have your own children kill others." He says that we're not different, we're both just trying to survive. And at that moment, a man kills poor Augusta right in front of Haley. Haley can't do anything for food, she can only watch. The scene cuts to Emmanuel and Dawn. 3 little children are eating as if they haven't eaten anything in days. Dawn thanks Emmanuel and crying says that if it weren't for him, these children would have died. Emmanuel understands her and says, "I will rescue your aunt, and then we'll all leave from here." Meanwhile, we see Haley again. She is unconscious. A bald man comes to kill her, but Haley suddenly wakes up. She strangles him to death and picks up the rifle. Just then, the cannibal leader arrives there. On the other side, at the farm, Galen sends his daughters to the basement, but Denise is still hiding upstairs in the closet. Galen decides that he has to save her. He strictly tells his daughters, "Stay here, don't come out." Haley comes out of the basement, and at the door, she meets Emmanuel, who has come looking for Augusta. When Emmanuel sees Augusta's dead body, he finally understands that everything Haley was doing was only for her family. Now back in form, Galen climbs upstairs. Rain presses a switch and the whole house is plunged into darkness. Galen takes advantage of the darkness and eliminates the attackers, but he himself gets badly injured. Meanwhile, Emmanuel and Haley meet Dawn and the children. When Dawn finds out that her intestine has died, she breaks down and starts crying. In the farm's basement, Galen somehow brings Dennis there, but due to blood loss, he collapses himself. The daughters panic and try to save his life. Rain checks the CCTV and sees there are 2 more people outside pouring gasoline to set the house on fire. Despite being injured, Galen says, "Let them come inside. I'll handle them right now." Outside, as Haley and the kids reach the farm, suddenly bullets start raining down on them. Haley tells Manuel, "Take the kids to the basement, I'll handle this." Inside, Rain brings the 2 cannibals in. One of them holds a knife to Dennis's throat. The other one checks the area. Outside, Haley gets shot. Despite the pain, she manages to take down a few more cannibals. But then she runs out of bullets. Now she has only one option left: to run. In the basement, one of the cannibals opens a hidden door. The door leads to a secret room filled with piles of weapons, and on the side, there's a cabinet packed with spices and herbs. The cannibal's eyes light up, because in this new world, spices have become even rarer than gold. But her happiness doesn't last long. Galen immediately gets up and shoots her. The second cannibal ends up in Denise's grasp from behind, and she plunges a knife straight into his back. Then Rain takes a shot and finishes off that cannibal too. A little while later, Emmanuel and the children come down to the basement. Rain gets awkward seeing Dawn back, and on top of that, there are new kids too. But Dawn ignores her and rushes straight to help the injured Galen. At that moment, Emmanuel decides that he will go outside again because his mother is still in danger. The scene cuts. Haley is limping outside towards the van, but 3 remaining cannibals surround her. Haley's body is covered in wounds, big and small, but she ignores the pain and fights. She kills 2 men with a knife, but the 3rd cannibal stabs her from behind. Haley falls to the ground just as the man is about to deliver the final strike. Emmanuel comes and shoots him in the head. The cannibal falls, but Haley herself is lying on the ground, soaked in blood. Emmanuel starts crying. He tries to wake up his mother, but Haley slowly closes her eyes. Emmanuel cries out, screaming. Then the scene cuts. A few days later, life is slowly returning to normal. The children are setting the table together for lunch. Everyone is supporting each other, and just then, in a shocking twist, Haley is seen coming down the stairs. Exhausted, injured, but alive, tears fill everyone's eyes and smiles appear on their faces. In the movie's final shot, the family sits together and eats. Haley looks at her family with loving eyes. There's pain in her eyes, but even more pride and peace. And this is where the story ends.